Hello everyone, welcome to our live. It's Friday, March the 24th. I had written 25 on my project sheet, and just before I went on live I told Jennifer that I had put the wrong date on there. But anyway, it is the 24th of March. Welcome to another live. I'm so glad you're here, and we are going to do a really cute, what I think is a really cute little quilt card. And I remember back in the day, I took a quilt class way back when, and I had, between my second child and my third child, Jennifer's my third, I lost a baby in between my son and Jennifer, and I needed something to occupy my mind after the miscarriage, and I decided to take a quilting class. I always knew how to sew, so I thought, well, I'll quilt. And this particular card that we're going to make today is called Card Tricks, and here is a little sample of it. Now, this is not the best of samples because my papers are not that well defined, but I'm going to show you one that is better defined, and you'll see what I'm talking about and why it's called Card Tricks. Isn't that so cute? So that's what we're going to be doing today, and I've got several different ones. I'm going to show you what not to do, how to get your quilt pattern pieces cut, and how to get them adhered down so that everything comes together. Now, it's like anything else. It's not going to be perfect, and you can't expect perfection. We are imperfect people, so our projects are not always, especially when you're putting together this many tiny pieces of cardstock. So don't be hard on yourself. I'm going to give people a few more minutes to get in because it looks like all we have right here so far is Margie and Jennifer. Hello, Margie. It's good to see you. And I know my faithful few. Now, Marlene will not be here today. She did text me earlier and said her husband had physical therapy, I think, today. So she would not be here. But we're gonna still have fun regardless of who can make it. And I know Randy's not going to be here. She had also let me know that she had errands and things to run today, and I think she had some appointments that she had to make. So everybody can't always be here, and I totally get it. I totally get it. We all are busy people, so I'm hoping that the people that do show up, I do want to let y'all know that I have a PDF tutorial. I'll tell you what, let me flip y'all down to the desktop. I think this will help you see a little bit better. Well, why is that froze up? Let's go, okay, no, craft table. It is froze up on that end. Let me transition it and see. Yeah, it's definitely not working. Let's try this. That one is too. All right, we are having technical issues. All right, I'm going to deactivate and then reactivate that and see. Okay, that did it. I was able to fix it. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to transition y'all over now to my desktop. And for some reason my lighting doesn't feel like it's where it should be today. And my lights are definitely on. Maybe it's because the light that I have on my face is kind of overpowering my lights that are coming in. Hey Susan, welcome in. Tina, hi. I'm glad that y'all could make it. Thank you so much. This is my PDF, and I'm going to show you, this is the card. This is actually this card with this square laid over it. And you can see, you see that? All I done when I took the picture, because I wanted you to see this so that you could see how pretty this is going to look. It looks very complicated, but I'm going to show you the easy way to put this together. And let me show you what I made for you. On the next page of the PDF, you're going to have a square that is 3 squares across and 3 squares down. Now, this is what it looks like when you do it smaller. It looks like this, and you see my score lines? So this is what we're going to be working with, and as you can see, this is the same size as this. So that's what we're going to be working with. So we're going to be gluing all of our pieces, and what I did with mine is I scored it at 1 inch 2 inches, then I turned it and did 1 inch and 2 inches. So it gave me a grid line, so to speak. And I hope that's showing on the camera. So, but anyway, we're going to use this to put our pieces together. Now, if you notice on my chart, I have a color key down here. So every one of these numbers represents the same color paper. So number 1, for my number 1, I chose this Orchid Oasis, and I've got my pieces cut, but I'm going to also show y'all how to cut your pieces. There's my Orchid Oasis, and these are the corner pieces. If you look at this, you'll see it looks like it's my background. See how that looks like the background? So that's what we're going to be working with. But this chart will help you to know where to put each piece. And if you lay your pieces out, I like to stack mine like this. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to bring it down so y'all can see where they're at. Color number 2 right here. Color number 3 right there, and you can choose whatever color you want to represent each number, but this works really well for doing that. Now let me show you how I cut my pieces. I took strips of cardstock, and this is like a great scrap buster, because all I did was I took my scrap pieces and I put it in at 1 inch, just like that. 1 inch squares is what this is, and I cut it. So now this is a 1 inch piece, and then all I did was I slid it in, lined it up to 1 inch, and sliced. Now for that first color, the corner color, you need more of those than you do any other, because you've got this right here would equal 1 square, this would equal the second square, and then you've got these little quarter pieces which would equal the third one. So you need 3 pieces of this to make the corner pieces for that. Now the others you don't need that much. You only need, like for this one, you need 2 quarters, so you need 1.5 squares to make that first color. So I hope that's not being confusing, but I'm going to show you when you cut these square pieces off like this. And I'm just going to do 3 right here, so I don't have to grab another piece of cardstock, because I've already got these cut. I'm going to show you an easy way to cut these that I found it easier than lining it up on the trimmer. You can line these up on the trimmer in the corner and cut them, you know, like in the track, this point to this point, and slice down, but they're so little they're hard to hold on to. So I just took a pair of shears, and you want a long pair so that you can really get your blade on top of that point, and then just cut them in half. Now now these are half pieces. The quarter pieces you're going to take and come up the middle, or you can go from the point to the middle, whichever is easier for you. And you're going to cut those. So these are quarter pieces, and that's all the cutting there is to make these pieces. So for, like I said, for the main color you need 3 squares, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 halves and 4 of the quarter pieces. So we'll cut here. And now this one we're going to cut in half from point to point, and then turn it and cut that in half. Grab one more of these and cut it in half. And that's your pieces. And then you can easily look on your diagram and see you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, which equals 1 square. You're going to need 1, 2. Those are halves, so you're going to need two of those. That's 1, this is 2. So that's the most complicated piece, because that's the most pieces. Now when you're building this, don't do your corners and then try to fill in the middle. Go across this way, and then this way, and then this way. I promise you, I tried it both ways. This is the best way to do it. All right, I'm going to move these out of the way because I don't need those. I'm going to save those because I'll probably use those for another card. I'm going to bring in, hold on just a minute. Oh, hey Jennifer Rial and Diane, welcome in. I'm so glad y'all are here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is what we're doing today. We're going to be making this card trick quilt pattern card. And here's one of the cards that I did. This is done, these colors didn't show up quite as well as I'd like for them to, but it was still a pretty card, and I think the pink and the black was real pretty. I wish I'd had it to go over, and I probably would have done this in navy, but I was wanting something that was going to really pop that pink, and the black definitely did, but I think it would have been pretty in the navy as well. But anyway, that was a prototype, so you know, that's my trial and error. I'm going to use, I found out again through trial and error that my Stampin' Seal or either tearing tape would work the best. Now I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal because I did this one yesterday when I was playing around with Stampin' Seal. Oh, I want to show you what happens when it goes wrong. This is one that went wrong. Do y'all see what went wrong? Can you see where I've got gaps really bad right there? That's one that went really wrong. This was done with glue. This was done with Stampin' Seal. The glue I thought the glue would work better because it would give me time to shimmy it. That one was a total fail. I found that using my Stampin' Seal was really the best way to go. And what I'm going to do is let me bring my silicone craft sheet over so I don't get tape on my work surface. I'm going to run 2 lines of Stampin' Seal on each one of these squares, and you only got to do it, you know, straight down one way. You don't have to go across. So I'm just going to run this. Oops, I didn't get that one up there quite far enough. And if it goes over the edge, just do what you would do with 2-sided tape. Fold it back onto itself because you don't want it hanging over. And I do need a little bit more right here. Okay. That's some sticky stuff. It will stick to you in a heartbeat. All right, I'm going to put this back up because I don't need that right now. And we're going to start right here in this corner square right there. And I'm going to show you, here's my little grid that I made. This one is great to have, but like I said, I blew this one up so that it would be big and you could actually really see what you were doing. But I'm going to use this one because this is the one that I drew out by hand. This one I did it on the computer. So, but I wanted y'all to have a grid so that if you decided to make this card, that you would be able to easily follow. So right here is number 1. That's my number 1 color. That's my number 2 color. That's my number 3 color. That's my number 4, and that's my number 5 color. So once you line your colors up in a line, it's real easy because now I know that right up here in this corner, and I like to lift this up. To me, I just can get better control of it if I lift it up and sit that right into that corner, just like that. Now, you know, it might be off a little bit. You have a pretty good chance of lifting this back up if you don't press it down. Let's see if we can line it up on the side here. I'm going to try lining that right up to that edge. And it's okay if there's a little hangover. We can come back with our scissors and trim that. That's not a problem. Now, looking at my grid, now I need a half piece of number 2. And we are going to take this one and set it. I'm going to butt it right up against that one and then press it down. Now we need another number 2. That's our next piece, another half of a number 2. So there's that one. And make sure you watch which way it's going. I can lay that on there and I know that it's going just like that. That's again why this grid is so easy to follow. And you can make one of these with just a 3x3. That's what this is. This is a 3x3 inch piece of paper, and all these measurements and everything will be in this PDF tutorial for your convenience. Now it's getting tricky because now we've got 2 1/4 inch pieces. We need a 1/4 inch solid Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to sit that right up to the top just like that. And oops, that one went down crooked. We don't want it to go down crooked if we can help it. So let's try that again. That's better. And now we need a number 3. So here's my number 3 pile. So I'm going to take that. And something else, it's just like with quilting, pattern paper that's either calico, gingham, dots, a small pattern always seems to work better for this. So what you're going to need here is a number 3, and see that fits in just like that. So if you're in question, just go lay it onto your little grid, and you can see that that's exactly where that needs to go. And then press that one down. Now we're back to the last corner. That's a number 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's the yellow one again. And we need a half of a square. So I'm going to set that one down just like this. And we need another half of a number 1. So this one's going to go right here. It gets easier after you start putting them down, because then you have something to butt everything up against. Alright, can you see how our cards are starting to take shape? So now we're coming down to this one. Now this one we need a number 2 at the top, a number 1 here, and a half of a number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to go into our next color. But let's go ahead and do our little quarter pieces first. And we're going to put a quarter piece right here. And that was number 1. Then we need number 2, which is that pink color again. And that's going to go right here. And then we're going to need a number 4 and a half of a number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be that pretty mint macaron. And we're going to take it. And I find that it works better if I just kind of butt everything up to the last one. And that's a little bit crooked. Just like that. Now that's that piece. So now this middle piece is all quarters. You see how that piece is all quarters. You need a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So a 2 is going to be easy. That's your pink. So let's go ahead and butt this one up to the top. And don't be afraid to move this around so you can, get to it easier. That's what you need to do. There's the number 2. So we need a number 4. That would be the green one. And these are all quarter pieces, so just make sure you keep that in mind. These are all your little half pieces. Now see, that's not looking like it's coming together perfect. That one's off just a hair right there, but it's okay, just keep going. I'm going to lift that one up and see if I can pull it down just a bit. And you can always take your bone folder if you need to and just, give them a burnish. That helps quite a bit. Let's pull that adhesive up. All right, so we got 2 down. Now the bottom one is going to be a number 5. So that's going to be our last color. Yeah, the last color. So that's going to be this one. And again, it's a quarter piece. We're going to bring it like this. Yeah, the other one's going to be a 3. And we're going to put it right there like that. Now we need a number 3. 1, 2, 3. That's a yellow. And this one is going to go in just like this. So there's our little middle piece. Alright, so now we're going to go over to this one. We need a number 3, a half of a number 3. So that's going to be this one. And we're going to put this one right up here. And then the bottom of that one is going to be a number 1, a quarter piece of a number 1. And this is going to go right here. And then we need a number 5 down here, a quarter piece. And that's going to be this one right here. Just bring it up to that edge. Press it down. Now we're going to come back over on this side and start working this one. So again, we need a half of a number 1. So we're going to put this down right here. We need a number 4 and a half of one of those. So that's going to go right here. And don't be afraid, to pull it up if it doesn't come down quite like you want it to. It is okay to pull it up and put it back down. All right, so we got that one. So now we're coming over to the second bottom row, the second square. So we need a number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be a quarter piece of the mint macaron, and that's going to go in right there. And I got all of this paper that I'm using. I didn't tell you that. This is in our catalog. Every year they come out with different prints of each one of our color families. This is the subtles. So all of the colors in here are the Balmy Blue, the Blushing Bride, easy for me to say, Calypso Coral, Highland Heather, Mint Macaron, Pear Pizzazz, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Soft Sea Foam, and So Saffron. So these are our very muted, soft, almost like spring colors, and I think that's why I chose those. Can y'all see my shirt? I am ready for, it says the Outer Banks, North Carolina. I'm ready to go to the beach. I am so ready. All right, back to this one. We need a number 1 down here because that's going to be our little, our bottom triangle right there, and press it down. Now we need a number 5, and that's that last color, and we're going to stick that in just like this. And now we're down to our last one, which is a half of one of the number 5. And mine didn't come together perfect, but that's okay. I'm going to show you. And the last piece is that number 1. So once you get those all glued in, and like I said, you can use your liquid glue if you like. I found it easier with the Stampin' Seal. Now what I'm going to do before I run this through the folder, I'm going to look at my edges right here, and I'm going to trim off any excess white. Just give it a little haircut. And you are cutting adhesive. That's the reason I chose these scissors. These are, they have a Teflon coating on them so things don't stick to them. And that's why I chose those. I wouldn't use my paper snips on that because you don't want to get them gunked up with glue. Now you can clean them. You can clean them with stamp cleaner. All right, if you notice this is not perfect, see my little areas in here that just don't look quite perfect? When you run this through the embossing folder, it covers a multitude of imperfections. Now I'm going to take all my little pieces that I got left over, and I'm going to put them over here along with this. I am using this quatrefoil tile. I love this pattern. Look how pretty it is. Isn't that a gorgeous pattern? We're going to lay this in, and I wanted to show you, if you pay attention to the stamping, our Stamping Up embossing folders, yeah, that's over right there too. Let's trim this off. When I turned it over, I noticed I got a little overhang right here, so I'm going to trim this off too. That looks better. Maybe a little bit right there. All we're doing is just kind of squaring everything up so that it's nice and even. I did leave a little bit of sticky on there. I pulled it off. That's, like I said, that's the good thing about those scissors. They do not, and I'm sure a lot of you have those scissors because they're very popular. Let me get this little sticky mess off of my desk and get it down here in the trash. But anyway, like I was saying, if you look on every embossing folder from Stamping Up has a line, and I'll call it a line to define because it allows me to line that up so that when I'm embossing, my pattern isn't wishy-washy. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and this is not a 3D embossing folder. This is a standard embossing folder. So with a standard embossing folder, we're going to use our #1 base plate. You know, normally we would use the #1 base plate and then our embossing folder down and then that #4 plate over it. But because this is a single or a standard embossing folder, we're going to need to use our cut plates. So you're going to use one cut plate. Now you don't use that adapter. You notice the #2 adapter is not in there. So it's a #1 and a #3, your embossing folder, and another #3 plate over top of it. That's the sandwich for a standard embossing folder. And just crank it through, just like that. Let's get the big boy off of our desk because he takes up so much room. I got cords down here everywhere. I had to plug up my tablet so I could see the, oh, hey Barbara, I didn't see you come in. And Connie, hey, welcome in. I'm trying to check and make sure I'm welcoming everybody as they come in. Oh, and hey Bertha, good to see you too, honey. All right, and you can still see that that's showing a little bit right there. If that happens, well, and if you have the Stampin' Up! Markers, I'm going to grab the Calypso Coral and I'm going to take the light one. I'm going to try the light one and see how it works. This sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm going to run just a little line. Not too bad. Not too bad. And that's one way you can kind of correct it if it's too much white showing. Just grab a Stampin' Blend marker and just kind of dab it a little bit, and that's not half bad. I think once we put it on a card, it's going to be fine. So I am going to stick my. Did y'all like my video where I showed you my little thing that y'all always see me reaching up for? Because it just holds everything that I need it to hold, and I love it. I had fun doing that one. As long as I don't get in trouble with the Stampin' Up! Police, I'll be all right. Like I said, you can see right there, that one has a little bit of a gap in it too. I used the same colors on this one, but this one's a little different because I used the stripe that was on the back side of that one. If you notice, the back side has a stripe and this other side's a floral. Two-sided paper is a wonderful thing. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. We are going to use the one we made today. And what I have here is a card base of the Orchid Oasis, and I chose that because that was my background that I used. And it is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. And I have a mat that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put that down, and I think I'm just going to use Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to turn it this way. I seem to be able to get everything a little bit straighter if I do it sideways. That looks good. And I have a piece of Petal Pink. I wanted that black because I thought the black really does make it kind of pop. And then when we set this down on here, like this, we can still have room for our sentiment right there. So, and if you wanted your squares to be bigger, you would just cut each one of your squares like at 1 1/8 or 1 1/4, and then do the same thing, but you'd have to calculate what size piece you needed to put it on. So I just did it 1 by 1 because that was easy. I knew that a 3 by 3 would take care of my 1 by 1 inch pieces. So that's why I did that. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal again. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some. Hey Alicia, how are you, honey? Hey Vivian, welcome in. I'm glad everybody, oh, I'm so glad everybody's here. I know some of you were late to the party. I did put an announcement on Facebook that I was going on early. The reason for me going on early, Jennifer has a function at the school with Autumn. I think it's something like field day, but they call it something else. Jennifer can tell you what it's called. But I figured it was something like field day. That's what my kids called it back in the day. Oh, okay. Jennifer said it's called a fun run. So I just assumed it was like, yeah, I want it to go. Do I want it to go like that, or do I want to do it different? I want it like that. I like it like that. Do I want to pop that up? I think I do. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals because I love them. And we are going to, and see where it bled through. That's one thing you can always depend on. Alcohol markers are going to bleed through. But as that's dried, you don't see it as much. I did get a little bit there on the blue, but that's all right. We'll just pretend that little Johnny or Susie spilt some milk on the quilt. How about that? Oh my goodness. I've had so much fun with these little quilt cards and doing different little quilt patterns, but in tomorrow's video, y'all are going to want to tune in for that. Grab you some lunch and sit in front of the computer and watch tomorrow's video at noon. The card is so stinking cute. I think you're going to love it. I had so much fun. I've already mailed the card out because I would show it to you if I hadn't have already mailed it out. But it is so cute, and you're going to want to make it. I guarantee you're going to want to make it. It turned out so pretty. And I've seen that card done quite a few times in my past. In fact, early on, I think I tried to make that card, and it was an epic fail. But y'all know what I like to do? I like to find videos that look hard and really try to make them easy and bring them to you in a very easy format so you can reproduce it yourself. That's what I love to do. All right, we're going to set this down. I want to bring it up to the top a little bit because I want to make sure I'm putting my sentiment at the bottom up underneath this. So we're going to set that down right about there. I'm doing a little eyeball. Does that look straight? That looks pretty good. So let's pat it down since we know we got it straight. I am going to pull out my, for y'all, for everybody that was late coming in, let me go back over this. I want y'all to see. I do have a PDF tutorial for everybody, and on this PDF tutorial, I have a grid with all the colors and the color keys, so you can just choose whatever color you want it to be for color 1, and you can build the same card trick quilt block just like I did. And I showed earlier, I built this one on the computer, but this one I hand drew, and I keep this one by my desk just so that when I get ready to do one of these, I have this piece in hand and I can just lay it right beside me and put my pieces together like I did. So anyway, and of course the back side has all the things that I use and my links and everything. So that'll be on the blog a little bit later this afternoon. Give me time enough after this is over. I'll probably go grab me some lunch, and then I'll come back and while I'm eating, I'll work on getting everything up on the blog for you. I decided with this one, I'm going to cut 2 labels because I'm not sure which one of these I want to use. I'm just not sure if I want this one or this one. And I haven't decided what I want this card to be yet. Do I want it to be a get well card? Do I want it to be a thinking of you card? A birthday card? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little baby, my little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because I can feed this through. Actually, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this in half. I'm just going to whack that right in half, and then I can run these through. My plates aren't long enough to cut both of them, and I just realized that. So I'm going to grab my little mini plates. And oh, on your machine, because your base plate on your big machine is really thick, so you won't need to do it on the big one. But this, I found that this plate will bow after time, so I flip mine over. And the minute I notice that this is starting to bow up, I'll flip it over just like I do my bottom cut plate. So that's a good rule of thumb. And don't forget to scatter your plates. I take the bottom one and I bring it forward just about 1/4 of an inch. This one back. Then I lay down my piece that I want to die cut, and then I put this one on and I put it up so it catches and pulls through first. And that is a good rule for this machine working. Of course, y'all know that the first one I had was broke. Everything that I did to try to make that one work did not work. So, but this is working beautifully now, and I could not be happier. So they seem to think that it lost its calibration. That's what the representative told me. I have fallen in love with this. This is from the Harvest Dies. I'm sorry, the Harvest Dies. I love this particular stamp set anyway, and the dies. I'm in love with the dies. But this came from the Harvest Dies. Jennifer, I don't think I put that on there, but if you'll make note for me. And if you want to, you can just start texting me the things I need to add, because I know you've got to run as soon as the live is over. So my secretary is going to run out on me as soon as we get this done. She's going to need to leave right about 12:30. She's got to be at the school at 1. So I cut both of these because, like I said, I really wasn't sure which one I wanted to use on which card. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw 2 winners today, but we're only going to make 1 card. But I have this other piece already done, this piece right here. So I'm going to make another card just like that one, and we're going to have 2. We're going to pick 2 winners. So make sure you let Jennifer know if you want to be in the drawing for the card, and we'll get that taken care of. I think this one I'm going to use this particular one, just because I love it so good. And we're going to pop it up too. I'm trying to think, what do I want to emboss this, or do I want to just stamp it with black ink? I wonder what black ink's going to look like. Let's stamp it on the back side first and see if we like that. I'm going to grab my Memento Tuxedo black ink, and that one's too big. I think I'm going to use this one. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. Everybody needs birthday cards, right? I know I always need a birthday card. I think this will fit. No, this one's not going to fit. Haha. Oh well. Let's see if it'll fit on this one. Just barely. Okay, let's regroup. Y'all ever have to do that? You have to regroup every now and then? Let's go back to my favorite all-time go-to stamp set. Go-to greetings. Saves me every time. We're going to do happy birthday. I think this birthday will fit on here. Yep. And that's a nice big one too, so it will have a good showing on here. Let's grab a stamp block. And I'm going to try to line this up on my grid paper, my grid line right here. And let's pull this up so you can see what I'm doing. Ink it up. Remember, I'm stamping on the wrong side first because I want to see what it looks like. Not bad. I think that'll work. Yeah, that'll work good because that black in the background. Let's turn it over on the right side and do it again. I'm wondering if my Memento ink don't need to be re-inked. I'm going to go for it. We're going to try it. Give it a good pressure. Oh, I gave it too good of a pressure. Look what I did. All right, let's do this one. I'll cut another one of those and do that for the second card. Hey, Nancy and Rita and Kathy, welcome in. So glad y'all are here. Oh, Nancy, I mailed the card that I'm doing tomorrow. I mailed that to Jo for her birthday, so it's already in the mail. So catch tomorrow's video if you can, but don't tell her. The card, I fell in love with that card, and I think she's going to love it too. At least I hope so. Well, this one worked, and I didn't make a mess of it. So I'm going to fan it just a teeny bit, and I'm going to turn that over. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but Nancy Boatwright is my inspiration for me becoming a card maker. I tell this every time she comes in. She probably gets tired of hearing it, but she is good friends with my sister-in-law who lives in Florida, and my first visit down to visit Jo when they moved into their new home, I saw a stack of cards that were just gorgeous. And I had never made cards in my life. I'd always been a crafty person, but I'd never made cards. And I looked at them in awe. And I asked Jo, I said, "Where did you get these?" She said, "Oh, my friend Nancy makes those all the time." She said, "She makes cards all the time." And I was like, "She made these?" They were gorgeous. They were stunning. I was like, I didn't say anything, but in my brain, I was like, I want to do this. I've got to do this. And so I have Nancy to thank for getting me into card making. So thank you, Nancy. You have fulfilled me with my ability to be able to do this and to love it like I do. So I'm cutting a base for the inside of this card, and I'm just going to do a white. Did I do that right? No, I didn't. I cut it at 4 1/4. It needs to be 4 inches. Oh, where's my brain? See, I can't walk and chew gum, and I can't talk and cut paper. All right, now 5 1/4 this way. And now we can put this inside. I'm going to leave this card blank since someone's going to win it. But I want to do a little bit of embellishment, and it might help camouflage my little boo-boo right there. You know, we have to learn how to camouflage our boo-boos. I mean, it's what we do, right? I don't know if I like that. I'm going to do white. I want to do white or black. I got one of these already opened. I don't need to open a new one. I gotta go in my ribbon drawer and clean it out and see what's still current and what's not. I want to put some gems on here too, and I think I'm going to use the black ones. These ones right here, the matte black dots. And I want to find out where I want to put my dots before I actually put a bow on. I'm wondering if that little homespun bow is going to look okay. I think it will. Oh yeah. Don't you think that's going to be cute? So I'm going to grab some of these the smaller black dots. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one right there. And like I said, I'm going in and grabbing the smallest ones there. I'm going to put one right there. That'll kind of camouflage that little boo-boo I made. And maybe one right here. And then let's tie a simple, I'm not going to do anything elaborate today. I'm just going to tie a very simple, very easy loop bow. I love bows on my cards. I know some people aren't into bows, but I think a bow just adds so much. So let me fidget with this bow just a little bit. Pull it. This is nowhere near as pretty as my finger bows are, but hey, this will work. Let me grab my ribbon scissors, and I'm going to whack it and whack it. I've been throwing all my little ribbon into a little basket back here, and I'm going to do something with all those little pieces of ribbon. And what about, you know, I don't like this bow. Let me try this again. It's not falling like I want it to. wanted that little square knot in the middle, and that's what I'm aiming for. I think that makes it look very pretty. There we go. That's a little better. Don't you think that looks better? Maybe not. Maybe like that. Yeah. Always have to turn them over. When I tie them, they're always tied on the wrong side for some reason. Okay, I'm going to use a glue dot. Little glue dot. And I'm just going to take this glue dot and stick it right here in the middle. And then I'm going to stick that bow right there. Who says I can't have a bow on my quilt card? I love it. I think it's so cute. I do too, Rita. This is like one of my favorite ribbons. I mean, it just goes with everything. You know, black and white. You can't go wrong with black and white. That's what I always say. At one point in my closet, I had so much black and white. Jennifer can attest to that. Everything in there was either black or white or both. And I still do have a lot of black and white because I figure, you know. Oh, yes, Nancy. I'm telling you. Oh, okay, okay. Nancy doesn't want to be in the drawing, Jennifer. I'm sure you've already seen that. I'm telling you what, Nancy, I always want to give you credit whenever you're on because your inspiration is what got this this boat rolling, or got this helped this train leave the station, because I was so inspired by you, and I can't wait till we get to Florida again, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see each other. Maybe you can come over and visit while we're there visiting Joe and Dawn. Anyway, that is our card for today. I'm going to make the other one just like this, only I'll use that other sentiment on it. Unless the person that wins it wants this one, I'll use this one here. But I'll use one that's not messed up. I'll make another one. So anyway, let's go ahead and get the drawing underway. And like I said, we're going to draw 2 winners. The cards will be the same because I'm going to use this swatch on the next card, so it'd be identical other than the sentiment. And I wish I hadn't messed up. Oh, Jennifer just texted me everything I needed to know. All right, Jen, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and do the winners of the 2 cards. And I'm just going to write their names down. Hey, Susan, would you let Jennifer know if you want to be in the drawing for the cards today? Just type in a yes if you do, or a no if you don't. Is Susan still here? Did she leave? She may have left, Jennifer. We'll give you just a couple more minutes to see if you're here and if you will respond. We don't want to let anyone left out if you want to be in the drawing, but we also don't want to put you in if you don't want it. So please, please, please let us know if you're here. Oh, I'm sorry, you gotta go, Alicia. You want to be in the drawing? Oh, okay. All right, you be safe on the road, Alicia. All right. So I don't see Susan has responded, so we're just going to go ahead without her. Thank you, Alicia. All right, let's go ahead with the drawing. Rita, congratulations, Rita Tharp. And Jennifer Riel, congratulations to both of my winners. Jennifer, do you want, let me know if you want this sentiment, this label, or if you want this one. So just let me know if you wanted the round one or the pointed one. Congratulations to you too, Rita. So I'm going to get, this one is yours, and now it's going to be up to Jennifer to let me know if she wants this sentiment or if she wants this one. So we're waiting. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but I want to find out which one you want. The round one's okay with you? Okay. I'm going to lay that there with that so I will remember to make that. And I will get these out in the mail. If the mail hasn't run by the time I get off and can get the other card made, they'll go today. If not, they'll be in the mailbox tomorrow. Okay, yeah, you're getting the pointed one, Rita. The first name was getting the card that I just finished. I'm going to leave the inside blank. I'm not even going to glue it in. I'm just going to leave it laying in. That way you can write a hand... oh, thank you, Nancy. Yes, give me thumbs up. Those are so important. That lets YouTube know that people like what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and close out because I know that Jennifer's got to run, and everybody probably wants to go and grab some lunch. At least us people over here on the East Coast. But anyway, let me flip y'all over so I can talk to you just for a minute. Oh, come on. Let me get my transition going. There we go. Thanks again so much, guys, for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed the little card trick quilt card today. And be sure to stay tuned tomorrow. It is an interactive card that you're going to really, I think you're going to love it. I know I did. So anyway, I love you all so much. And until next time, as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior. He is worthy. So until next time, stay safe, be kind, and know that you are loved. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.